Hey guys, I'm Alex, and this is my first Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. It's 2,400 points. I'm bringing my Warriors of Chaos against my good buddy Sam, who's bringing his Demons of Chaos. Like I said, this is my first Warhammer Fantasy Battle Report. Spent a lot of time playing Fantasy the last couple of years, and recently I've been spending a lot of time watching a lot of other YouTube commentators doing their battle reports along with their kind of commentary. So I've taken a lot of their elements and kind of applied them to mine. For hopefully a good result. A lot of the people I've been following, Luke Davis, Lord Tremendous, Mr. Malorian, they're all fantastic commentators, and I just want to give back in the way that they do. So I'll crack on with the kind of battle that I'm doing. Any blinding issues that I have, feel free to post in the comments anywhere where I've gone ridiculously wrong with the rules or anything you think to tweak, or just your general comments on what I could do to improve this. It'd be fantastic. Hopefully this won't be my last. I want to keep doing this as long as I can, depending on how well received this is. So without further ado, let's kind of go over the list. This is my Warriors of Chaos army, a little screenshot there. I'll run you through what I'm bringing. Like I said, 2,500 points, mostly Khorne and Nurgle, this is my all-comers list, the one I'll be using most often. So my general's my Demon Prince, Plaguefather Callus. He's got the Mark of Nurgle, and he's a level 4 wizard using the Law of Nurgle. He's got Chaos Armor and the Demonic Flight upgrades. His magic items are the Dragonbane Gem, the Sword of Striking, and the Charm Shield. He has the Soul Feeder, Acid Incore, Scaled Skin, and Fiery Breath upgrade. In front of him in a unit of warriors is the Herald of Filth. He's my exalted hero. He's also got the Mark of Nurgle. He's my battle standard bearer. He's riding a Bard Demonic Mount, Fang. He's got a Halberd as his weapon. He's got the Talisman of Endurance, the Chalice of Chaos, Dragon Helm, and the Burning Body upgrade. He's bunkered in a set of warriors, the Rock Guard. There's 14 of them with the Mark of Nurgle, Halberd Shields, Full Command, and the Standard of Discipline. Just behind them, there's the Bloodied Teeth. They're the 18 Warriors of Chaos, Halberd Shield, Mark of Khorne, Banner and Musician, no hero in them, and they've got the Banner of Swiftness. To their left, there's the Scratchers. They're my 5 Chaos Warhounds with Poison. To the other side of my Chaos Warriors, I've got my Gorbeast Chariot, Brutus. He's got the Mark of Nurgle on him. In front of him are my 3 Skull Crushers, the Razor Riders. They've got the Mark of Khorne, Lances, Musician, Standard, and they've got the Gleaming Pendant for that one-turn rerollable BSB fail, effectively. Then on the very far right of the screen, there's my Hell Cannon in the back corner with 3 Chaos Dwarves, and in front of them, 6 Trolls, the Swamp Spawns, with additional hand weapons. So that's my all-comers list. I'll be using it kind of a lot as we go forward. Then we'll move on to my buddy Sam's list. That's a screenshot of kind of his army list. I'll run you through what he's got. He's got a Demon Prince as his general. He's a level 4 wizard with the Mark of Nurgle. He's using the Law of Death for this game. He was testing it out. He's got Chaos Armor, Demonic Flight, and he gave him the Exalted gift, one of the bigger gifts, which gave him the Eternal Blade, which at the beginning of every turn he rolls a d3, and that is added to his initiative, weapon skill, attacks, and strength. So a pretty brutal weapon that he's got, and he's his general. Next in command, he has a Herald of Nurgle sitting on a throne there. He's got the Loki, which is poison on a 5 for the unit he's in, and himself. And he changed out his gift for the Fencer's Blaze, which is an extra attack and makes him weapon skill 10. Between the two, there's the Herald of Zeech. He's a level 2 wizard, and he's got the Wand of Whimsy, I think it is, the one which is +1 strength or +1 damage to all Zeech spells that he kind of casts. And then behind the heroes, there's a unit of 30 Plague Bearers, full command, and I think they've got the Banner of Movement on them as well, the Banner of Swiftness. Next to them, there's 20 Pink Horrors. I don't think there's any command with them, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Then in front of them, we've got a group of 3 Nurglings, so that's 1 unit of 3. At the other side of them, we've got 3 individual Beasts of Nurgle. They're the Plague Toads. I keep ebbing and flowing between which name I call them, so Plague Toad or Beast of Nurgle, that's who I'm referring to. In the back, we've got his Skull Cannon, and next to them, they've got the Soul Grinder, which is the Mark of Nurgle, and has the Balefire Torrent upgrade, I think. The one which gives it Stone Throw, basically. These are the spells that Sam got. He got the Purple Sun, Spirit Leech, Doom and Darkness, and Soul Blight for his Demon Prince. He's level 2, got Bolt of Change and Glean Magic, and his unit for the first time ever, didn't get Gateway, and managed to get Treason of Zeech, so those are his spells. These are my spells. Like I said, I've got the Chaos Familiar with my Demon Prince, so he's got 5 spells. He's got the Miasma of Pestilence, Steam of Corruption, Curse of the Leper, Fleshy Abundance, and Rancid Visitations. We rolled Battle Line for the scenario, so it was just a straight up battle. Didn't want to overcomplicate things for my first battle report. So here's deployment from Sam. This is the far left flank. He's got one Beast of Nurgle just out there on his lonesome. Then we move into Sam's center. He's got his horde of Plague Bearers in the middle with his Herald in it. Next to them, he's got his Pink Horrors with Herald in there. And next to him, he's got the Demon Prince. The dice in front is to represent, to remember that we have the Demon Blade on him, the Eternal Blade on him. And then the very front of the screen, we've got the Nurglings. And on his far right flank, he's got the Skull Cannon, the other 2 individual beasts, and his Soul Grinder. This is my far left flank. Scratchers, 5 dogs just on their own. Next to them, kind of in the last shot as well, there's the Bloody Teeth, my 18 warriors of Khorne. Hiding behind the building is my Demon Prince Callus. Next to him is my Swamp Spawns. And next to them is my unit of warriors with the BSB in them. Trying to utilise their stupidity rule with the BSB in general upgrade. So it's 9 with the reroll, they should be fine. Normally they end up drivelling to themselves in the corner, but this game I think they perform absolutely average. Next to my BSB, I've got my Razor Riders, Brutus next to them, and my Hell Cannon on the hill. Got a nice view looking around for that. We roll to see who goes first, and I get the win to decide who goes first, so I pick to go first. Normally, it's a bit of a crapshoot when it comes to who goes first, because I've always knee-jerked and picked going first because, I don't know, you get that feeling of being able to swing and punch someone first before they manage to do any damage back to you. But then it's always disappointing when you don't do much for your first turn, so, I don't know, it worked out well for me this game, but who knows in the future. So, first turn, Warriors of Chaos turn 1. I move my dogs up aggressively on the flank towards his beast. They're not going to win that fight. They're pretty useless in this game. All the demons have fantastic saves and toughness, so they don't really have a place in this list. For this game, sorry. My unit of Khorne Warriors walks up a little bit. They don't want to get too close to the Plague Bearers, so they're kind of tempting them. The Trolls have charged, and they charge the Nurglings. Fantastic charge first turn. Slam into the Nurglings. Demon Prince kind of moves up behind them. Oh, they pass their stupidity. The Demon Prince moves up behind them, and he kind of gets a nice arc set up. BSB moves up on the side. Razor Riders move up next to him. The Gore-Beast Chariot moves up, and the Hell Cannon passes its babysitter test to not do anything. So we'll jump right into Magic. It's 5 dice, a 3 and a 2. Sam channels. I think you'll find in this game he channels almost every turn, and I channel none of the turns. So he almost always gets +1 dice with regards to Magic phase. I try to cast Regen on my unit of warriors, and he lets it go. And then I try to cast Curse of the Leper on my Demon Prince to increase his toughness, and he dispels it with ease. It goes to shooting, and my Hell Cannon misses abysmally by 10 inches. Well done, Hell Cannon. And that's my shooting. So we jump into combat. I punch a load of Nurglings and take nothing back for it. They are, of course, unbreakable, but they lose a few wounds down to rares. They're now down to, I think it's 5 in total. And that was it for turn 1. Not as exciting as I wanted it to be. So we got a Demons of Chaos turn 1. Sam moves his beast aggressively across to counter my warriors. Moves his Plague Bearers up. Pivots his Pink Horrors to kind of face in the backhand corner there. There's a new addition to our lines, in case you hadn't noticed. That's Sam's Demon Prince, who's joined our ranks. He's got a disgustingly good angle running down the side of my Warriors of Khorne, so they'll have to brace for deep impact there. And then the other 2 beasts start moving up aggressively to bait my Skull Crushers and Chariot. His Cannon doesn't really need to move, and his Soul Grinder doesn't need to move either on the hill. So we jump to Magic. It's 5 and 8, so he has a fantastic Magic phase. And we get Rot, Glorious Rot for the... No, it can't be 5 and 8. Sorry, it must be 8 in total. Whichever one we get Rot, Glorious Rot, which is essentially D6 for every unit, and on a 6 that unit takes a penalty to some description. Wouldn't you frickin' believe it? The only unit to take a penalty was the Warriors of Chaos. Even with the regen, 2 wounds slipped through. I was gutted. He tries to cast Glean Magic with his unit of Pink Horrors, and I let it go. I can have it. They're a level 2 for all intensive purposes, and I'm a level 4. I figure I got this. No freaking way he rolls a 6, and I roll a 2. So now I've lost the wizard level straight away, and I'm only level 3. brilliant. And I've lost Stream of Corruption, which is a fantastic toughness test attack. So that's gone as well. But I've still got a buttload of dice in my hand, so I'm not too disheartened about that. So he tries to cast Bolt of Change from his Herald, and I dispel it with ease. And I think that's it for the rest of the magic. I don't think... Oh no, he gets Soul Blight off on my other unit of warriors as well. We jump back into shooting. His cannon absolutely rips through my Gorbeast chariot. 10 inches from the back, he gets... the bounce is perfect. There's not even close to an armor save at strength 10. He does 6 wounds. My Gorbeast chariot explodes. Hey, there was a little smirk on his face, but he won't admit it. To counter that, though, his Soul Grinder fires at my Skull Crushers, deviates by about 10 inches, and hits one of his Plague Toads, who doesn't do any wounds. So, not the greatest of turns, but not the worst. So we got a Warriors of Chaos turn 2. I kind of go Death or Glory here, and I'm not quite sure whether it was a smart move or not. Almost everything in my army charges. My Warriors of Chaos charged the unit of dogs intentionally. They didn't fail their check. Charged the Beast of Nurgle, and my dogs charge as well. In hindsight, the dogs was probably a horrible charge because all I end up doing is giving away combat res. But that's something I need to work on. Playing a few turns ahead of where I am, kind of thing. That's a better picture of them kind of getting into the side combat. Oh, and I lost the dogs to Dangerous Terrain as well. Who'd have thought the dogs would trip up in the woods? It doesn't make any sense, does it? My Demon Prince kind of shimmies across to the side. I don't really know what he's going to do with his Demon Prince at the moment, so I'm kind of bracing for the worst eventuality. I do not want to have to face a sword where he gets plus D3 on all the major stats when he's fighting me. I just don't want to be in that fight. My Trolls that smashed Nurgling's last turn charged the Pink Horrors. Fantastic about Demons that they can't elect to flee. The amount of times playing against High Elves or Lizard Men and they just flee all the time. So it's fantastic to charge an enemy and just know what their reaction is. So the Trolls get in there. That's going to be a good combat. That's another picture of the onslaught that's going to erupt from there. My BSB units fail a charge against the Plague Toads. They needed nothing to get in, basically. They needed like a 6, a 7 to get in. I'm like, ugh. Cannot believe they choked that fail. That was depressing. But the Razor Riders managed to slam into the other Toad, so all is not lost. Hell Cannon passes its silliness check and stays where it is. So we go on to Magic next. It's 11 dice to 7, so I have a fantastic Magic phase. What I managed to do is I managed to get off Fleshy Abundance on... It ends on the first unit because it's the next turn. So I cast it on this unit in combat to try and give them a bit of protection, and he lets me have it. Then I cast Curse of the Leper, and he tries to dispel it and fails. But really that was all the spells I wanted to cast. I didn't have a lot else I wanted to do due to my positioning, so I kind of just let it wither out there. I managed to get Curse of the Leper up by 1, which kind of negated the Soul Blight minus toughness, and their halberds were negated by Soul Blight, so they were toughness 4, strength 4 again, and all I managed to get was a regen. But the fantastic thing was, the Curse of the Leper managed to get my Demon Prince's wounds and toughness back by rolling a 6 for Lord Tribute, so happy days. We go to the shooting phase, and yeah, if you remember from the last couple of screenshots, there used to be a white Demon Prince from the Demons of Chaos there. Not anymore. The Hell Cannon went ballistic. Dead center hit. Sam knew what the dice rolls were going to be before he even rolled them. He failed his wound. He failed his ward save, and it was 6 wounds. So his Demon Prince General didn't even get to use his new sword or much of his new lore. Exploded. I could hear his heart break from across the room. And I felt bad as well because I know how much it hurts to lose my Demon Prince. So it was a fantastic turn for me, even though I won't like to admit it out loud. The Skull Crushers absolutely butcher the Beast of Nurgle and run off the board. And the Trolls lose a guy to the Blue Horrors exploding and punch through a bunch of the Pink Horrors. So they deal out a lot but lose a little bit in return. In the combat with the Plague Toad, the Plague Toad directs all its attacks against the dogs, and this was when I realised I'd made a mistake, because he's now up 4 on res already. I must get some attacks through or something to level the playing field. Maybe it's just down to the fact I've got 2 ranks and a banner. But we end up drawing combat, even though I lost a guy. And he loses a wound down to his check. Anyway, he's still there and he's still got 2 wounds, so not ideal. So we go to Demons of Chaos turn 2. And Yeah, the obvious happened. The Plague Bearer slammed into the side of my warriors. Really thought I'd break that toad, and I didn't, which was a little disheartening. The other Plague Toad, one of three, moves to the very far right out of the charge arc of my BSB unit, which kind of, to mock him for not getting in combat last time, he's kind of shafted himself there. And the Soul Grinder moves aggressively up. That thing is a freaking flyer, basically. It's movement 8 or something silly like that. And it just marches like down the side of the board. I was like, holy hell, seeing as the only other monster that I have that uses that kind of base is my Hell Cannon, which is movement 3. So to have a monster that's almost 3 times that movement on his side was scary to think about. His Skull Cannon turns to face. Bracing for the charge against the trolls, I think. Oh, no, he's not bracing for the charge. You'll see in the next picture. He lines himself up dead set for my Demon Prince. He is PISSED that his Demon Prince is dead. So he goes death or glory to try to kill my Demon Prince. And there's a little bit more of the left-hand flank of where Skullcrusher moved up to. I think he might even be trying to attempt to bait my Hell Cannon to come after him, but with movement 3, I'm never going to make that charge. So we got a magic. It's 5 and 6 for 11 dice for Sam. He, unfortunately, though, has lost his wizard, his main wizard, and his other unit of magic is locked in combat. Heartbreak City. So he rolls on the magic and he gets something which is effectively everyone kind of a penalty if you roll a 6 for every unit of Nurgling your unit. And wouldn't you freaking believe it? His Soul Grinder takes a wound, and that is the only thing that takes a wound so far. Unfreaking believable. He's shooting. He hits against my Demon Prince, but I burn my Charm Shield on trying to save it. So the expected was to happen. So we'll jump right into combat. My Soul Grinder. The Soul Grinder must have missed as well, because it can still move and fire. That's what I keep forgetting. So he must have missed when he came forward as well. In combat, obviously, the Plague Bearers absolutely slaughter the Warriors of Chaos. They butcher them to the nth degree. Catch them on the kind of rundown, basically. Catch them as they're leaving, claim the banner, and just turn on the spot, ready to face the next impeding charge. And the other Plague, the Toad, kind of waddles off through the bushes over here. In combat with the Trolls, I butcher a load more, but not enough to break them. Sad face Alex. I even take some wounds for my trouble, which is not where I want to be. So we get a Warriors of Chaos turn 3. The Demon Prince charges the unit of Plague Bearers. For death or glory, I need to hold that unit up. That is an anvil of a unit I need to keep at bay. Demon Prince probably won't win the day, but he's unbreakable, so at least I can lock them down over there. My BSB charges solo out of the unit into the Soul Grinder. He's ready for that fight. The unit of warriors that he was in just kind of reforms and faces, if you can see in the far right of this picture, against the Plague Toad. And the Soul Crushers come on and kind of angle themselves aggressively, as you can see, ready to pick up the Soul Grinder if needed to, and ready to go against the Skull Cannon if they need to kind of go that way. So we got a magic. It's 6 dice to 2. That can't be right. 6 dice to 3, sorry, it was a double 3. I get off Curse of the Leper on my Demon Prince because Sam fails to dispel it, and that's all my magic, I think, for that phase. It doesn't, not a lot happens. So I plant my Hell Cannon template on the Skull Crusher in the shooting, on the Skull Cannon on the shooting phase, and the Hell Cannon's good luck is beginning to rub off here. Although we get a direct hit, so he's in the right ballpark, fails to wound. Unbelievable. I think it was one of the times where I said, anything but a 1 now, and then I rolled a 1. In combat, nothing happens with regards to Soul Grinder, although I'm toughness 7, and it's forced to wound him, we kind of just dribble at each other, and he must lose by a bit because my BSB in a charge, but I don't think he takes any wounds for his trouble. I slaughter the pink horrors, and turn to face a Skull Cannon, ready kind of in that angle for a charge or combat. Combat goes down with regards to the Plague Bearers. I absolutely punch through those. Not as expected. I direct all my attacks against the Herald. I think at this point I'm never going to be able to kill the unit outright, so at least maybe I can get some victory points for taking out his Herald. I don't do any wounds through though. His unit may or may not get some wounds against me, but I burn my Acid Incore to hit some of him back. I do my Thunderstomp and my Breath Weapon. I think I managed to kill 3 in total, if that. I lose combat aggressively, but I'm Unbreakable Demon Prince, so I just kind of stay where I am. So we go to Demons of Chaos turn 3. His Plague Toad marches round to the side just to not get caught by my Warriors of Chaos unit again. This seems very familiar with the times I was playing Dark Elves and their Dark Riders would always never be where they were, or the High Elves and their Elevian Reavers and where they never where they were. Basically any Tricksy Elf magic is what this seems like. His other Plague Toad shimmies across to get a nice flank charge on my Demon Prince. Things I don't want to happen is to get that charge, because that's going to ruin me a little bit more, because that's one less I've lost by. And Plague Toads are horrible nuts to crack, so I really don't want to be playing against them. Magic is null and void, and I don't think anything happens with regard to the magic phase. Shooting. See, we kind of discussed here whether it would have been better for the Skull Cannon to grape shot the unit of trolls for flaming grape shot attacks and then roll to hit, or charge. So it would be artillery dice, strength 10 flaming no save shots, or the d6 plus 1. I think we weighed it up and we went with I threw in my 2 cents. I think Sam went with the grape shot in the end. I probably would have gone with the impact hits, because I think he does 2 wounds to the entire unit, absolutely flubs it, or he fires his grape shot, gets 4 or 6, but only hits with a 2 or 3. So not a great deal of damage from the shooting phase. And his Soul Grinder's locked in combat. However, his Soul Grinder's not locked in combat for long. I release it back to the Chaos Realm. I think it's combat res that I get him down by. If I do a wound or 2, then he dies to combat res because of that instability rule. I think this was one of the times where he needed 1 under his leadership. I think he needed like a 7 to stay where he was, and he rolled boxcars and exploded. So my BSB just kind of turns to face. And that was it, really. So we get a Warriors of Chaos turn 4. It's a little bit of Manic in the corner. Trolls pass their idiot test, luckily on their own leadership. And they charge, and the Skull Crushers charge aside the Skull Cannon. I think the Skull Cannon's realised its days are numbered at this point, but there's nothing you can do in that situation. And my BSB moves up to kind of box the Plague Toad in. At this point, he might be some VP I can grab, but I'm not too sure. So we go to Magic, and I roll 3. Good. I do nothing with it. There's no point in me throwing any dice at a spell, because there's nothing really I want to get off that's going to be a game changer at this point, so there's no worries about it. My Hell Cannon on the hill steps up to the plate, ready to punch a Plague Toad, earn me some sweet, sweet victory points, and he misfires. Clearly the fame has gone to his head and he's decided to be a bit of a diva and not perform anymore, but he eats D3 and all 3 of his Chaos Dwarves. Sweet. I'm glad this happens kind of at turn 4, because if this happened any sooner in the game, I think it would have really knocked me off, but oh well, at least he didn't take any wounds for it or destroy himself, so can't really complain too much. In combat, I kill his Herald. Yes, Herald's not in the front rank. Yeah, I managed to kill his Herald. It's not a challenge, so I don't get to roll on the Eye of the Gods, and I don't think Eye of the Gods rule anyway. And I do some more attacks to him, and I Soul Feeder some wounds back. So I'm back up to the original 5. Let me get that right. Yeah, back up to the original 5, because I started to use the Law Tribute to gain some more wounds and stuff. So that's not the end of the world. It's Snark combat. I know I'm just going to sit there forever, but I'm trying to out-anvil the Anvil unit, so maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. We go to combat, and as I'm sure you're aware, the Trolls and Skull Crushers obliterated the cannon. Skull Crushers ran off the table because they're so angry with the world, they just couldn't bear to stay on it anymore. And the Trolls turn around. I'm realising at this point now that I'm not going to get that lucky twice, and they're not going to get their 4 twice in a row, so I'm facing them back towards the board edge. Because one of the arguments me and Sam always seem to... Well, not arguments. One of the things that we were unsure of was, if someone with stupidity fails their stupidity test, and they walk towards a board edge and effectively off the board, do they count as being destroyed for the case of the game, as in they've walked off the board? Or do they treat the edge of the board as impassable terrain and stop? I've always been under the impression that they're not stupid enough to walk off the battlefield, but this is Warhammer Fantasy, so absolutely anything could happen. Please post in the comments if you do have an answer to that. That'd be great to hear your guys' opinion on it. So we go to Demons of Chaos turn 4, this must be. So Sam's Plague Toad charges in, because he's ready for the fight. And the other Plague Toad charges in, because he's ready for the fight. So everyone kind of just punches around. Magic, again, hate to rub it in, but he can't do anything. It doesn't have any effects. And shooting, again, hate to rub it in, but there's no shooting. So we go to straight down to the old combat. Plato doesn't do anything in regards to combat. I kill a few more plague bearers, never enough to break them, but I'm just kind of staying there regardless. Plato charged my warriors. I think he does a wound, and I stick around. I'm just not. I do some wounds back, and I'm kind of going absolutely nowhere fast. And I think at this point, this is when we call it. This is the end of the game. Fantastic battle I had with Sam. I really got the upper hand fast with regards to the Hell Cannon destroying his Demon Prince. I think it would have been a little bit different. My total casualties was my poor scratches and my bloody teeth and my Gorby's chariot. Brutus, he died as well. And Sam lost his... He lost a beast. He lost his Demon Prince. Both his heralds, a unit of pink horrors, his Nurglings, his Soul Grinder, and his Skull Cannon. So it was a fantastic game. I realise now I'm going through it and doing the kind of commentary that I was a bit blurry with some of the pictures, and I've missed some pictures from certain phases, so I've kind of had to fill in the blanks with regards to other pictures. That's just something I just get so caught up when I'm playing that I I forget to take pictures. I know that's a horrible trait to have, so I'm going to work on that to make sure that I do keep taking pictures. And make sure that I can kind of cover everything. If you guys like the layout, or you think there's something I should change, or want me to do differently, I'd absolutely love to hear your guys' opinion, because although these are for me, I want them to be for you as well. I want you guys to enjoy them as much as everyone else does. So stay tuned for my next kind of battle reports. A big thanks to everyone for watching this far, and to everyone who's inspired me. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.